Alright, so today we're going to be talking about citations in the Journal of Ecology. So our Citations Journal of Ecology, there's two different kinds. There's your literature cited, which goes at the end of your paper, and then there's also internal citations, which are listed throughout your paper. Anytime you use another person's ideas, another journal articles, thoughts, findings, research methods, discussion, implications of their research, anytime you use anything from some other person and you write about it in your paper, you must give a citation. So it's usually the last name of the author or multiple authors and the publication date, as you can see here in Jones 1995. If you have more than 3 authors on the paper, you use ETAL. That basically is just shorthand for there's a lot of other people involved, and if somebody really wants to know, they can go to your literature cited and you will see all the authors there. If there's more citations by the same author, you put commas in between the years. If there's citations from different authors that you're using in this that have the same idea or topic that you're discussing in the same sentence, you will put both citations with a semicolon between them. And also, if you're going to have multiple citations by the same author in the same year, you're going to put an A and B to distinguish them, and that will still carry over into your literature cited. So Hodge ETAL 1999A and then also 1999B. You're going to have 1999A in your citation page and 1999B in your literature cited page. So both will be there so that we can still distinguish them when we get to the literature cited page. Also, although it's very rare that you use a direct quote, you also must include an internal citation at the end of that sentence. So this is an example. Here's the quote, and then this is how you would do the citation. So you want to make sure that you have the comma there and then the citation. So there are many different forms. Pretty much they all have the exact same order of information, though. You have the author, which is always the last name, and then typically the first initial. Journal of Ecology is gender neutral, so we always just put the first initial rather than the first name. The year of publication is second, because the way that citations work is that you put the most important information first, and then you keep going forward. So authors, though, it's always the most important information, and then the year of publication is the next most important piece of information, because in scientific literature we're wanting to make sure that the studies change from year to year, and the research that comes out can drastically change from 1970 to 2011. So the year of publication gives credibility to the information that you're providing in your paper. So next thing you want is the title. You don't want to do anything to the title. You just want to keep it plain. No italicizing, no underlining, nothing crazy like that. A lot of times with scientific papers, they do for the journal, or for the title in the journal, as you'll see later, they put it in all caps, but you don't want to do that. You just want to leave it straight, plain text, nothing crazy. For a book title or a chapter, you only need to do the capitalization of the first word or the capitalization of all but minor words. Then you're going to have the journal name, which is italicized, and the volume, which is going to be bolded, or if it's a book, publisher and place of publication. Always, with your literature cited page, you should list your references in alphabetical order by author last name. So when I go through, if there's an author that has an A last name, it should be before an author that has a V last name. You also want to use hanging indent, which is shown here. This is the format right here, hanging indent, where you indent every single line but the first one. And in addition, if 2 references are from the same author, as we saw for the internal citation, if they're from the same author, you put them in chronological order, so whichever one happened first. And also, if there's an A and B, you would put A before B. So here's how to identify what is what in scientific literature. So typically when you get a journal article from a database, you're going to have this first page. It's normally the first page, and then this is the actual article. So this is the first page, and this has pretty much all the information that you're going to need on it. So right here you can see this is the title of the journal article. These are the authors. So this one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 authors. So you will put Rourke ETAL because it is 6. It's more than 3. But in the literature cited page, you will write out all 6 of the authors. This right here where it says source is the journal name, so they already have it in italics, so that's what you will put. Here's the volume number is 106, so you don't have to actually write volume, you will just put 106 and then the number, and then here is the year and the page numbers. So as you can see, this is what you'll get at the first page, and then here is actually what it looks like. So you can see roughly the same thing. Here are your page numbers. This is the journal. It's the shorthand of the journal. Here's the volume, number, date of publication, title, and authors. So it's all right there on either page. So what would it look like? The internal citation is Rourke ETAL 2009. That's what you would put. Your full citation, so the first author's last name comes first and then initials. Other than that, all authors preceding him will be first initial, middle initial if it's given, and then last name. And you'll continue to do that until you get to the last one, and always put "and" before your last author. Then you'll put the year, 2009, with just a period, nothing crazy. Then the title of the article with no italics, no underlines, just the title. Then in italics you will put the journal. Then this is the volume number, and it needs to be bolded. If they give a number or an issue number, this is it right here. It does not need to be bolded. And then these are the page numbers. So that's all you need for the full citation, and note that it's also in the hanging indent format. So there's multiple kinds of citations. That was just the journal citation. If you go through here, these are some examples of books. So once again, all authors and their first initials, year, the title of the book, the publisher, and then where it was published. Same thing. It's pretty. You are consistent with the format that you use throughout. You just change small things to maintain the type of citation that you need. So here, author, last name, year, title of dissertation, the fact that it's a PhD dissertation, where it was. Here's a website. So this is author, last name, first initials. If there is no author for your website, you would put the organization. So let's say the Environmental Protection Agency, that was their website, so you would put EPA, and then you would put the year of publication, or if it's not there, you would put the year of copyright, which means it's the last time that somebody looked at it. Plants and their structure, that's the title. Here is the link to the page, and also this is your date of access, so when you looked at the website page. Part of a book keeps going, the same thing. So here's the authors, the year. This is the part of the book that you're looking at. Here's in, which means it's in this book. Page numbers, who published it, and where it was published. Software, author, year, type of software, who published it, where it was published. And then interview is person you interviewed, date of interview, and then personal interview or telephone interview. And if you have any more questions or need some more help, there's a handout and 2 handouts on ESRM Zone /writing tutorials.